Sorry, got a PC crash. My gear is getting pretty old by this point. I bought this boy to play Cyberpunk is in 2020, now it's 2026. So yeah, just that when you play in the games, you don't really follow the trends and care until your iron literally starts dying, which apparently it does. So let's continue to where we've been. Right here we just skipped. Here we just okay, now I need to get, you see, great is good. Great is good because you play a thick deck anyways and you can survive that somehow. Well, great is a gamble. Great is a gamble. If there is an early shop, the plan is that it can give you enough cash to one of the key relics of the game, and the shop relics do have a number of key relics. For example, well, to say the ones which would start from the get-go, well, Pursuit of Courage would make the elite fights much easier and actually doable. The toolbox has its own number of Regent synergies. The Screaming Flagon can be very strong in, well, maybe not in this deck, but in cheaper builds. Like you serious want an early great and an early shop, so you can build around that. The Punch Dagger also might be very interesting because we then can just go for the those what it is, like the block card which puts the card from the graveyard on top of your deck, so we can aim at that. The Mystic Lighter can be very much ridiculous because we have this card which does damage from the star, and let's say there is even a sharp enchantment plus 3 damage to this and plus 9, so we deal suddenly 17 damage per star, right? 5 basic, 3 from the enchantment, 9 from here. That's ridiculous. The miniature tent is amazing, both as an upgrade for this playthrough. It would be a dream. The membership card is obviously good because it's like lot and lot of value. The Lee's Waffle is, well, maybe not for this run, but sometimes it's a lifesaver. The level up is a bit bad for the Regent because it's not exactly well, it's very difficult to go through the combats unscathed. You just tend to be getting 1 damage here and there, but on the lower difficulties and for the better classes, it can easily make your game early on. Kifuda is, well, you want to be getting it a bit later on once you have decent blocks, but ultimately it's simple but very strong. 9 block per, it's just like, you see, like imagine you save extra 9 life per combat. It's pretty much every 2 fights, okay, every 3 fights you are saving 1 rest. It's ridiculous. Gnarled Hammer is a bit, well, dealing damage here is not as strong as saving damage, but it depends on what kind of attacks you're having. Of course, the ideal combo is first membership card and then both the hammer and the lighter, and on the multi-strike attacks, that's bonkers. Ghost Seed, one of the few ways in which you can play the ethereal deck. Dragon Fruit, also get it early on, and that's a good chunk of health. Dolly's Mirror, well, you need to, usually it's a later choice, but it's especially strong with these enchantments, because obviously the enchantments are copied too. Well, Chemical X. Not sure if Regent has anything amazing X rated, but might be a very good potential. Well, Burning Stick, it depends, but in some decks it's also pretty cool. Double exhaust skill is double exhaust skill. Well, bread is the way, like, the culinary tastes of the author of this game are weird because the bread is a great combo with the cocoa, and bread is cool, but maybe not with the cocoa, like even about buckle, by the way, without like potions are not even like you burn through the potions fast and steady to dexterity, or steady to dexterity is the same logic as Kifuda, really, just a bit more diverse but a bit less potent. So yeah, but since there is no nearby shop, we just go for a less amazing option. What can I do? And now Very bad turn 1, to be honest. So defend. We don't even have any vigor yet. So I guess just convert all stuff to damage. Still takes 6 points of damage. Gather light. Defend. But still, the problem with the Gather Light is that it just gives 1 star, so we can't even upgrade to give more. So we're still picking up bit damage, and then we'll keep getting damage, really. So, yeah. Well, for this deck, Child of the Stars is probably the way to go. It's still for the combo, but or maybe not. Well, Child of the Stars is usually, you see, once again, you need to be pumping out. You need to be pumping out these... you need to be pumping out these 50 to 40 block per turn, and that's just one of the few ways in which this class is able to do that. On the other hand, maybe not this particular combo, but maybe this particular combo archetype, maybe I'm overvaluing it. I got with it to the final 2 bosses. I killed one, but for the second ones, I just failed. I just lacked a couple of turns. Just a couple of extra turns were not enough to get enough stars to unleash the Stardust. And but since we do collect the stars for the Mega Stardust, maybe Child of the Stars is not very good there. So here, none of these is something we really want to be taken. Of course, Child of the Stars, it's just a power, so it kind of self-exhausts. We can't take it for the sake of Earth's survival. I suppose we should, because otherwise, okay, let's do a little bit of sacrifice. Because here on this turn, it's more or less free. And then we need to defend. So we can just gather light. I think mana-wise it will be more efficient to first Fallen Star and then Stardust. And now we have enough block to absorb 16 without much issues. Still will still be taken 2, but that's only 2. Gather light. But man, I don't really want to be burning through our star energy on a weak turn, because it's only 9 damage. But then of course it's even pointless to attack. Just we get like 20 damage from a non-bow encounter, and of course the Stardust, it does finish him. So the royal, well, Prophesize, by the way, is not, I mean, it seems ridiculous, but Prophesize is not that bad of a card, but you could argue it should have been a bit better but rare, because you want to be getting it much later on. Once our deck is more built up, it can be rather good for the combo purposes. Then we have the Glow, which is just your steady, but then the non-upgrade Glow is such a sad kind of a thing. But Royal Gamble is also... it's vital for this archetype, but at the same time, it's very finicky, so you need to have... But I guess Royal Gamble it is. Gamble it is. And now we're not burning Stardust on the first turn, but here we do have the luxury of just doing nothing but defending. Yeah, and that's Royal Gamble for ya. We gambled and kinda lost. Now we do Child of the Stars, defend, venerate, and we still need to cast a Fallen Star because we are taking too much damage otherwise. And now we have to gather light just so we have enough for Royal Gamble. And it's barely chipped. And now You see, that's the problem. Like, the royal gamble should be picked up once you have much more star generation. Right now, this was way too early. And now, of course, we have the royal gamble and the venerate. And the next time we draw Stardust, it's probably dead. Well, that's if we do draw it. But it's only one more damage. Okay, so now can get wrecked. Well, Hidden Cache is a mainstay. It's pretty much a combo. It's not so great in the more straightforward star fighting, because its ratio of getting energy is way too slow. But for this playstyle, it was pretty much meant to be it. So now, at the very least, we're getting the R&R, we get the Anchor, which is amazing. Most relics, by the way, relics or trinkets or whatever, they're very important, but most of them you want to be just as simple as possible. Just either a block or damage. So then, Gather Light, but 5 Stardust doesn't really do nothing. Of course, now we have some, okay, Child of the Stars. 12 energy, and of course it did add a couple of let's get a bit of block here, and well, what can we do? We are still forced to take 11 damage versus a common foe, and actually more. Because now, of course, it added wounds, like, it just like does 16 damage and 2 wounds to our deck, so it's 2 turns minimum until we're able to Stardust. So it's getting hard to comment even. Now, of course, our Stardust is an absolute overkill, 75 damage. But then again, it's an overkill here. But actually, we need... Well, Seeking Edge, yes, it's a rare, but it's a Forge archetype, so Forge is not relevant to us. Hidden Cache. You want Hidden Cache, but at this point we have another issue, is that we do pick it up, but we have a bit... You see, here we have a different side of the story. We have all the energy generation, but only 1 Stardust. And by this point, we'd really love to be having a bit more vigor, and maybe some other ways of getting the good stuff. So now we have... we also have the worst elite possible, because it's not... Okay, it's not that big of a deal, but it's not possible to burst this one down in one go. So I just do a Falling Star. Gather Light. Defend, I suppose, in the strike. 3 more turns to kill it minimum. Okay, so what do we do here? We want to do Hidden Cache, and Stardust. Because it takes... Oh, Inuit Child of the Stars. Because it takes 20 damage tops. But now it gets into a really good zone. Having both block and Gather Light, strike, and cache. And also, like, this is, by the way, the reason why thin decks do not really work here. Like, not at all, because every enemy, like, in first slay, they would be adding, like, 1, 2 status cards. Here, it's, like, 2, 3, 4 minimum, repeatedly. So go on, just play thin. See where it carries ya. Okay, we need to do a... Okay, let's do Royal Gamble. We just... we do it to Exhausted because we don't really need it, this combat. And then we just Fallen Star. And... well, it's a bit silly, but... it did so much damage. But since it has this immunity, It wasn't enough. Star Potion. Okay, Star Potion's probably better than Random Skill. Mercury Hourglass. This our Trinket luck is nice right here because both of these are pretty vital. And a Dying Star. Well, right, you see, a Dying Star, well, okay, a Dying Star is great pick here. Just that we have the big encounters, so we want to be saving the huge amount of damage to kill the boss, but we also have the small encounters, which can be very dangerous and annoying to this archetype, and the Dying Star is thus precisely because Cosmic Indifference and Refined Blade are so Dying Star is okay, but still, actually we're doing pretty shitty. Why? Because we do have this Stardust. We have 0 ways to be adding extra damage. A lot of stars, but no extra damage. And extra, well, okay, we have 1 fish oil. Like, we really need this question mark to be something great. But it's okay, it's a well, pillow is an overkill. So we have 95 hit points versus the Waterfall Giant. Let's drink some fish oil. Let's do the Hidden Cache. And strike. And now the Stardust will be saving. Right now the only way of boosting our Stardust damage is the Falling Star. So we're trying to do full on Starry play, and that's that. So Child of the Stars, still Falling Star, to get some extra defense and to lower the incoming damage. Then defend, and strike. Then, of course, we get a Dying Star on a turn where it does nothing. And it's ethereal. Like you see, it's an okay card for this archetype, but why? This archetype is already so, or this character is already so weak, so why did the Dying Star had to be ethereal? I just don't really get it. We still will use it so we don't lose it, but... Okay, so let's do the Royal Gamble right now. Get 10 more strength. Block. Still Falling Star. Because the counter does tick up. Now we have this 15 stars, but that's only 15 times 90 damage. And that's not exactly enough. Okay, now this one is a bit better star. So here we can just gather light. And not even do this. But now it's a very fun experience of just stacking up stars and waiting for the cards to finally arrive together, which who knows how long it will take. And given how this boss is ticking up and up and up, that's not exactly a great perspective. Let's even do a bit bigger turn. So Fallen Star and Dying Star. And Strike and Hidden Cache. Better luck next time. Of course we need more draw and stuff for them to arrive, but that's easy to say. And now suddenly he's pumping out 33 freaking damage per turn. Okay, by this point we don't need the Stardust anymore. At 33 stars that is decent enough. But we also need to get some defense to the next turn. Yeah. Execute Order 66. Thankfully, he's still castable, and we got no defenses, but just our natural health points from the humidifier, and the bomb would be okay. So right now you see we are doing something, but we still lack the synergy. What's weird is that this archetype is not supported by the res freaking at all. Just seriously. I mean, I suppose Heavenly Drill is, but no, Heavenly Drill, like you see, Comet is totally different kind of a play style. Heavenly Drill is different play style. Make it so you're supposed to be stacking Vigor. Well, I suppose if you do not go the Vigor route, it's make it so is okay. But in this case, you need to be enhancing your cards via event, and you see Rose Vigor cards are kinda reliable or in the pool, but enchant, like getting a specific question mark and then a specific item in the shop is a bit more different. Beaten to Shape is well, it's more of a follow-up to the star. So theoretically it's possible, like you pump the enemy 20 times, then you forge 100. So kinda. But that's a lot of mana though. Like you need to unleash your star and then 3 mana to Beaten to Shape and Sovereign Blade. It's not that easy. Crash Landing, no. Dying Star is a nice survival tool, but even then, it's kinda still we're wasting the stars on a non-direct plan. But picking up, it was totally valid choice because it would be just dead meat without it. Hammer is totally different archetype. 7 stars, totally different archetype. Bombardment is kinda something you're always happy to have, probably. Well, not with the Vigor. Well, not with the Vigor. Big Ben is sort of alright, but it also is not really that much. It's the weakest of these Dark Rituals. Decisions is kind of for this archetype, but it's really just a King's Gamble. It's pretty much a King's Gambit. Once again, just you draw 3 cards, you select a card that generates the stars, and you just spend some stars, gain some stars. So Foregone Conclusion, well, it kind of, yeah, Foregone does make the combo easier, so I am invincible. Well, I am invincible is generic. So Forge obviously no, Create obviously no. Cards, well, I suppose you make your deck thinner, and then somehow, but having a big enough hand for this class is difficult enough. Arsenal, it kinda builds up the strength for the final push, but you also need to be playing the colorless cards somehow, so that's on a very specific run where you actually have them. So that's weird. And Neutron Edges obviously no, Cash doesn't really matter, that's Forging. Tyranny mayhaps, well, Genesis is kinda okay, although the 2 mana cost is quite a bug. Sword Sage, no. Well, Monor's Gaze, it's like for the lesser combo, you just try to generate, I don't know, like 6 stars per turn and strike the enemy 6 times, and just so it's without the strengths, maybe, but it's not that amazing. I guess Void Form is great everywhere, but squeezing it in also is not too easy. So, there are some supportive cards, but you see, the biggest point of this archetype is not really the soft support. The biggest problem, and what needs to be solved, is like the Vigor. You need to stack the damage for the freaking attack, and there is no rare card which just does that. Now you can speak about deck building and so forth, casuality, non-casuality, but in reality, say Ironclad, the very big objective is to survive, and he just has the barricade, he just has the unmovable, he just has the how is it called, the Colossus, the Crimson Mantle. Like, they just do the thing and support their archetypes. There can be, some of them are less intricate, some of them are more intricate, but there could be at least one card to support this particular archetype, especially since many cards for the Regent are doing that. In fact, one of the character's issue is that, once again, we're going to card rivalry, and without, let's just say, he needs Vigor, but 1, 2. Oh, great. So, just stacking that stuff is too difficult. And so here, all of that. Well, I guess we pick up decisions, although do we really need another royal gamble? I'm not so sure. Then imbue, discard is played automatically at the start of each combat. Reroll each card you wore once or transform a fallen star into meteor shower, but of course we don't get any energy. Well, I guess a driftwood kind of for this combat, but okay, here we do have, like, this was a very dubious choice, honestly, but but of course, but on the other hand, it's still a dubious choice. You see, we need decisions to produce the star energy, right? But then, if we want to produce a lot of star energy, why don't we just... Well, the only difference is that you see, the gamble means we just start with 27 stars. Well, actually 30. Whereas decisions means that we start with the 10 cards in our hand, and then if gamble is there, well, it's either triple gamble or triple hidden caches or triple venerates. But with decisions, we just will be starting with 10 cards in the hand instead of just 5, which is a big enough deal. Because if we get the gamble but we don't get enough cards, well, I'd say decisions are still... it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. Both have their levels of inequality, for sure. But at the very least, okay, let's go with the gamble. I think that's the safest bet. But that's something that is difficult to play without knowing. Now, map-wise, we do not. Once we have our basic deck, it also gets very much simpler. We want a lot of question marks. We want occasional merchant, only when we have the cash, and then we want all the campfires in the world. So here apparently no more than 3. Oh no, there actually is a route with 4, but there actually is a route with 4, but less question marks. Only 1. Well, 5 extra hit points do not really matter, and we do need some potentially lucky break from the question marks, so let's go here. Oh, right. Crap. I got confused. I forgot that... I probably should have went for the decisions. I forgot that it plays only once. So I kind of mixed it up. Difficult play. I kind of mixed it up that the Aura boss would do more than once gamble. Like, probably should have been decisions as we started with the 10 cards, and then maybe with triple the gamble, and if not the gamble, then something else. Of course, it's still, we are able to do this 60 damage to this bastard. 60 damage plus what exactly? 60 plus 72 in total. Maybe it's safer this way. Dying Star. But do we even Stardust? Because it's 45. Like, we don't have much attacks now. That's too risky. Just strike and continue with the combo in. Hidden Cache, Venerate. Defend. And now we have decisions. Well, worst case scenario, it will be Gather Light. Which does help us survive through the round. Oh, should have done Defend. Okay, so here it's gonna be Fallen Star into Dying Star. Out of Star Energy. And now, finally, it's the Stardust. Terraforming, it's just a necessity in this archetype. At least we've got 1. Now, either random power or random zero cost card. Such a crappy encounter, honestly, because it's just like random. And with boss, I think for this archetype zero is better hit chances. So here we got another royal gamble, which was nice. Next, Incur Adept Divine 6 times, but Incur and Adept is much better. Like, the problem with the pay in gold is that the best option here is the Radic. And you can't even get the Radic with only 3 divinations. Here it is. It's, like, no matter how you slice it, it takes... I'm going careful because there are also curse cards here. Here it is, and we definitely do not want to be getting a curse card. So we got 20 gold back, and Intimidating Helmet. But do we even have any cards that cost 2 or more? Not at all. Useless for us. And add a card to our deck, which is definitely the Glow. Not like we do. Oh, no. I do want the Glow, but Pet takes precedence because we do try to build up. But maybe you see, maybe the problem with going full Vigor is that we have the Giant Star, which we'll be using continuously, and that does not mesh that well. So I think the Glow is a better choice. Now one more fight, 12 stars. Actually a bit more, 16. That's 80 damage. Probably enough. I was a bit annoyed. Now Solar Strike, it is a source of stars, but it's not a good source of stars without the stars, and we still have a little bit of Vigor play. Basically, for now, it's not ready for this archetype. Maybe if it was graded, but we do not have the luxury of upgrading it. So now, remove the cards from the deck, but that will consume our gold. But honestly, right now strikes are just a waste, so I did want to... it kind of spoils the shop ahead of us. And that's another thing, events can remove the... And another point is we cannot really choose to not to pay, and Enlightenment is mega useless to us. I guess we can just remove one card from the deck. Just this deck. And this still leaves us, oh, not enough ready cash to buy the best of the relics. So there is Alchemize. It's rather good, but we cannot upgrade it in this deck. The Whetstone, well, the Whetstone will hit strikes. We can go for the Juzu Bracelet. But that's more of an Act 3 thing. There is also Restlessness, but how easy it is to empty our hand. We don't want to be costing much, we want to be preparing for the eventual big ban, so we probably don't want to be going there. Okay, I think let's just go for the bracelet. Now we rest. Upgrade random skills. Okay, upgraded defense are always good. Oh, by the way, we also have this option. It's the same amount of campfires. Less combats, more question marks. That's fine by me. Of course, first we need to survive the elite. And we get the absolutely most annoying one. Okay, so here we can do defend and defend. Now that we have the Terramorphin, let's play from the Terramorphin. Because, you see, now our next attack deals 6 damage. So this one is 11 times 12. Almost enough to kill him. And that's not the last star card that we'll be using. Because... Gather Light, Venerate, Hidden Cache, take 13 points of damage. Okay, Royal Gamble. But do we even care about Dying Star? I don't think so. If we Dying Star him, he'll add 1 day's card here, and we seriously want to be getting Stardust. Well, we will be. Worst case scenario, we'll be getting the Stardust from decisions. So, well, unless decisions. No. Here is the Stardust, so we can do this hidden cache, and just 24 times 11. Of course, we get a shitload of dazes, but that's. Stable serum is whatever. Pendulum, unfortunately, is Pendulum is such a trash. Why is it this a relic? Another thing I could rant for a very, very, very long time is how bad some of the rare relics are. Because Pendulum, I think it's a rare one, and why? Like, your standard deck size is 20 to 30, which means that Pendulum happens. Or is it no? Well, okay, it's common. Oh, but then again, even as a common, you see, like, Alduismo Stone is a common, Mute Ticket is a common, like, Vira is a common. There's a shitload of good common relics, and Pendulum is just, in comparison to them, it's just a you lose option. Happy Flower. Well, that's a bit another thing you see. The common relics are generally speaking much more potent than some of the later ones, because here, like, for example, Lucky Fish, it's such a screw you, or even an Intimidating Helmet. Like something like Vira or Lantern or Anchor or Bag of Preparation or Mill Ticket or Vulnerability Set, most of these are good for any decks, whereas Intimidating Helmet is pretty much a build around, which in many cases will mean nothing. Same goes for the Unseasoned Top, the Unsettling Lamp. Half the stuff here is a very heavy build around. And it's kind of weird that the rare keepsakes are not really there. Okay, another thing we really need in this deck is Radiate. Given we have the initial gamble and then we have the decisions potential into another gamble and stuff like that, this will be a lot of damage. It does kind of compete for the Vigor, but what can you do? Otherwise, it just helps our plan a bit too much. Okay, so here it's either I think only 1 out of 3 dolls is useful for us, or maybe, well, okay, let's lose 5, or I guess next is a campfire, let's get the, so you see, play attack, gain 1 block, usually that's great, but not really. Here, at the start of the turn, deal damage equal to the turn number to all enemies, but that's like 15 damage per battle if it's 5 turns, and we don't really want to be dragging it much longer. Even versus the bosses, it's not that big. We're either dead or alive by the time. So maybe the big bon, if we add cards to the deck, we get 1 copy. That has its own bunch of issues, but it's like we don't really need to add much by this point, and if we are adding much, it's going to be the key pieces, and maybe those key pieces matter. So I think, well, it's still a risky option, but I like to live dangerous. Okay, so now we have this early decisions plan into, okay, we also have the Stardust, but that won't be enough to burst him, right? But anyhow, that's probably for the best. And now we have 33 times 5, so we can, oh, of course, instead of Stardust, it would have been much better to pick up Irradiate, just 39 times 3 to soften the enemy. But I guess well, let's first do the defend so we do not really get that much damage. Then I suppose we still do the Stardust, as it will be almost dead. We can also drink the Strength Potion, but I'd rather save it for the bosses. So yeah, close but no cigar. But otherwise it's like at 41, so with some dying stars and whatnot, we'll be able to punk him all right. Or we can even do like this, terraforming, 27 dying stuff. Okay, go there. Plating is, Star Potion is nice, but Plating is probably better at letting us live. Bowler Hat is, it's nice to be getting it early on, but Bowler Hat anywhere but the start of the act is so sad. So we have the double orbit, but it's not graded, so, and with our double, we can't really pick any of this stuff. Okay, that's actually good. Let's get the Pollen score. We'll regen anyways, and that's every 4 turns, draw 2 additional cards. We just cycle through our deck a bit faster, and that's huge for the combo. Rest. I probably don't overkill rest, but the thing is, we don't have anything that would be upgraded mega superbly. Like here, it's well, okay, draw 5 cards. I guess gives us a better chance to get a mega good skill. But with ready, it's there, and with the what's our other, with the Stardust, the base upgrades are very minimalistic. You could say that sometimes Dying Star Plus, the Act 2 strength difference matters a lot, but okay, so here Stardusting is, for tempo, is probably not the way. Because we need a very big combo with Vigor. Oh, it's 400 hit points, so we just need to be doing the Hidden Cache and the Venerate. We'll even need the Platen. So draw 1 fewer card or do... drawing fewer cards is such a pain for a combo deck. But I think I go towards that direction, but then this means... Well, I'll probably go towards that direction because our blocking potential is actually bad and Disintegration will punk us. So now we have Radiate. Now let's do the Hidden Cache. And the Strike, I suppose. And Radiate, and now we drink the Platen. Should have probably drank the Strength Potion too. Now we have... Well, let's first do the Glow. Now let's do decisions. Curious. So we can either get 18 Vigor from Terramorphin, or we can get 27 stars from the Royal Gamble. So, but there's probably, like you see, with the 27, no, 27 stars is better. Why? Because we can still, like you see, Vigor will be blown on the next attack whenever we do it. And this turn, we cannot really do the combo. Next turn, we cannot really do the combo next, so this turn we'll have to be doing the star. Next turn we'll have to be doing another star, just a dying. And so Terraforming, it will be very difficult to keep to the point where we'll be drawing our Regent or Stardust back. Because of this, this is much better. So now we can do the Fallen Star and Gather Light. And like even the next turn doing the Terraforming is pointless, let's just do Defend. So I get to no damage. It's gonna be a lone combat. So now the Pollen score is keeping us steady. So here it's Child of the Stars, Dying Star, 4 damage into 6 and +5. And now we do the Terramorphin. 3 turns to get... Oh, by now Radiate, we actually need to be getting Stardust. The Radiate has much more intricate... Well, we can do the Glow. We can do Venerate. But now that we have this Vigor, we actually need to maintain the Vigor. So now no more than 3 cards per turn is okay. And now we have the Stardust. Just enough. I can get a drink of tea in the meanwhile. Well, we've discussed this. Second Edge is a no-no. Royalties may be at the start of Act 1, but by now it's just... Well, it does kind of self-exhaust. But we'll also be targeting the question marks heavily, so I'm not sure if it'll give us enough to that and make it so... Well, once again, it's like... it's a nice way of chipping the enemy here and there, but it doesn't really help our bigger combos. And those are a bit difficult to maintain. So I do not think we need it. Now, add 1 whistle to the deck. Deal damage, stun the enemy. Or 7 blocks each turn. Or decrease the cost of attacks. If only you had attacks which actually cost anything meaningful. So it's either whistle as the extra turn or sigh. Whistle, of course, has another issue, is that it is an extra turn, but at what cost? So, okay, here I see 1 campfire. Then here I don't want to go because it's an unnecessary. Okay, so this is pretty much the only way through the acts. The biggest choice is whether to go for a question mark or for an elite. So we also have the Dome Maker. I'm not sure if the damage from the combo will channel into that or not. And the Queen. Well, here we're also, by the way, very lucky in a sense that the worst case scenario would be the Bird. For reasons most obvious. Because it has 3 stages and it definitely cannot channel. Well, basically, Whistle, if only it didn't do any damage. Well, with the Whistle, you want to go for a lot of question marks and hope for an event which prevents the exhaust. But you also, in case of this class, you also want to be doing this. Keep missing the buttons. You also want to be doing this if you have enough Cosmic Indifferences, so you can do that steadily, which is not our deck. So just a plain Psy, just 7 block, and we are good to go. So we have immediate decisions, but nothing too amazing. I guess we'll go for the Hidden Cache. And Dying Star. How about you bad boys deal 0 damage? Now Venerate. Maybe even a Strike. Does it matter that much? Does it matter? No, I guess 1 more Gather Light matters a bit more. Now we have both Radiate and Terraforming. Unfortunately, no. Well, let's do first the Glow. Yeah, great. So that's 50. That one is tougher. So let's do the Fallen Star. Let's do Radiate. Oh, crap. It's a long video, so my mind is going places. I forgot, I thought I have this star. Like, you see, another thing is the art here. Like, you see, this is one strongly blue, and this one strongly blue. So I thought that this was the, not the Terramorphin, but the Stardust. But it actually wasn't. So now we do have to play it a teeny bit differently. So 15 and 5. I guess we'll be doing the play on the next turn. Well, stuff happens. Okay, so charge. Well, charge is something that we can be... Okay, let's get the charge. The point of the charge is to just, like, in the boss fights, just to thin out your deck. Of course, the problem is, it would be much better to transform those cards into defense rather than minion strikes, because minion strikes, they do consume vigor. Oh, but the one downside is that we'll be getting... We have the frog. So we'll get... Man, why did I pick the frog? What's wrong with me? So the frog actually is like... one charge is okay, 2 charge is just like way too much. It reduces the chances of decent decisions, etc. by a lot. So actually, no. Okay, 3... Well, now we can visit a merchant instead of a campfire, I think. Because that's just 200 gold. Here, choose a power to enchant with draw 2 cards. Or, no, wait, what am I doing? Choose an attack to enhance with sharp 2. Sharp 2 is not the most it could be, but it opens up some shop options. Gremlin Horn, awful for us, because usually when we cast our big stuff, everyone dies. Now, I don't really care about the lead, or... I mean, we get another Gremlin Horn or Bowler Head or whatever. Okay, a random relic. It's a molten egg. Here we still rest, right? Well, we'll always have more option. I guess here we go to the shop, because we seriously, like, we have some coins to burn. Tuning fork, plate and skills gain 7 block. Not... It's... Well... 0.7 block per skill. It has to be a much more spammy deck. Like, it has to be a deck which actually plays 10 skills every turn. Which we do not. So now, sorry Mr. Campfire, but that shop... And I guess it's... The bowler head does work, right? Well, no. Okay. It's decent enough. I just... You see, the dream... That once again, the dream would be... Now, our kill card is right now augmented. And the absolute dream here would be the Mystic Lighter. Just 9 additional damage. Imagine this. We don't need to care about vigor. Just screw them up. Instead, what we're getting here is... It's still pretty good. So Secret Weapon, well, it kind of self-exhausts, but it will solve a lot of our worries. So 2 Secret Weapons are fine. And Waffle, I think just 7 hit points don't really do a lot. So I'd rather go for the Happy Flower. But does Happy Flower... Well, I definitely want the Flex Potion and the Strength option for the final confrontation. Just to resolve that a bit faster. But I have one question mark ahead of me. So it's either getting the Happy Flower or... Well, okay, let's get the Happy Flower. You never know when we'll need to do an extra turn. And the chance that this will be enough... Oh. I could also... I forgot that I could also remove a card. But then again, I wanted to save some cash maybe for the next merchant, but that was bad. Should have totally removed one of the strikes. Ugh. And here they're also taking our potion away for... Yeah, we could be getting 2... Okay, let's add 2 Gather Lights. This will slow down us a little in the boss fights, but... we need that block. Now... Let us smith, I think. That's also a necessity, and we'll be smitten... Stardust. It's very important right now, because 2 more damage might not sound a lot, but we have some very, very big boys. Now, Big Mushroom for the combo deck is definitely suicide. I'm not sure which deck may afford that. The hit points are not worth that. Even at the start of the combo, just no. So I just lose some life, create some cards. So we've gotten the Glow upgrade, is very cool. Secret Weapon, I was fine with it being exhausted. And then it was another Defend. I can live with that. So then, what do we do here? Let's start with the Glow. Let's do the Dying Star. So we take, and then it just Gather Light. Right. So we take no damage. Now, we have Decisions turn. Like the Stardust right now, it does 12 times 9, which is a very big... Basically, we went from 5 damage to 9 damage. It's a very, very big improvement. So we do not need as much. Okay, let's drop the Child of the Stars. So worst case scenario, this Decisions, it does. Like you see here, it didn't really give us its stars back, but with the Child of Stars we get some block in return. And now we just do 9 times 9. Well, 9 times 9 is definitely not enough. Not even close. We have no Vigor stashed, so... Now we have the Secret Weapon, but then again, the problem with the Secret Weapon is... Oh crap, now it does 46 damage. The problem of the Secret Weapon is that the card has to be in the draw pile, which it isn't. So we can do Radiate, but... Do we just freaking die here? There are actually no attacks here. So Secret Weapon cannot do much. Couldn't it be from both? Like, it's the worst thing possible. So we can do 9, because we're also weak. Well, we would be doing this. Even if we do this, this will not be enough. Far from it. And then, of course, it's another 40 damage, and we don't even have a cantrip to enable the Secret Weapon. Well, we do get a bit from the Child of the Stars. Maybe somewhere back in there, I should have upgraded it. And now, okay, let's do the Glow. Let's do... the Dying Star. And just Gather Light or a Strike even. Same amount of damage actually. But 1 more star that away. And we are frail once more. And this is why this archetype is still not good. Because we just need more card draw. We already needed Tyranny. So defend and Terramorphin. Just 16 points of damage. And finally the Stardust. Man, we are not surviving versus the final bosses, for sure. It's okay versus the basic dudes, but it's definitely not okay versus the final boss. All this Smooth Stone is nice. Add a card to our deck. none of this matters. We're not even at the full health. So let's go with decisions. Oh, we didn't even got the gambit, so we're just dead. We got 3 times gather light, but that's let's preserve the star. Right now this means we're so very much dead. Like it's not even. The only grace is that we have Child of the Stars, but we really should be having 2 and upgraded. It's another, when it comes to these level bosses, you should be having 2 Child of the Stars. And they should be upgraded. Or maybe 3 non-graded, same energy. So now we can do, like, we need a 700 Stardust here, which is what? Well, which is 70 times 90, or which is a couple of Vigor stacked up and 35. But without that triple gamble, that's a tall ask. So this way we well, if we chisel it down to the last hit points, we can do a bit less. But it's also raking up weapons. And why? You see, it's just ridiculous how bad this card is. You'd think that in this kind of a deck, Secret Weapon is exactly what you need. But we just have this. Like right now, I'm just exhausting it. I don't need it. First terraforming. Second terraforming, right? Now we also draw both Stardust and Sacred Weapon on the same turn. Because when else? So terraforming, venerate, hidden cache. I guess we also have 6 points of damage from radiate. And right now we have 21 times 25. So that's not... That's only 500. That's only 500, not nearly enough. But if we do not do this, we have to go all the way there. Another cycle. So I think we'll probably have to. We can't even apply the Falling Star because then our vigor is lost, and I guess we use the Flex Potion. Mind you, that's that's according to my presumption that we can just instantly die. I think that the door will disappear, and in the middle of the skill, the boss will appear, and the damage will continue. But if it's not that way, then we're... Yeah, it's that way. Okay, wait. Why so much? Why so much? It was 26 times... Well, okay, the flex did change it because it was 26 times 25. 25 by 25 is 625 and it's 26, so flex did change a lot. The only difficulty is then we have the queen combat and we don't have the flex for that. So have fun playing games. Now, okay, at the very least, we have a good opener hand. We are for sure, we're hitting the Royal Gamble with decision for sure. And man, I wish that Strength Potion was not punked from us, because whatever we got for it, it was not worth it. It was not worth it. But still, okay, decision. I also wish decisions was upgraded, but what can you do? So here it's either Terramorphin 3 times or Royal Gamble 3 times is definitely better. 33. Then we even have the option of Secret Weapon, amazingly enough, and to go for the it's either Radiate or Fallen Star. So the star, well, the problem with the Stardust is that it's random damage. So you see, it's a 600 pull, but right now we are at 330. Well, it's gonna be 15, so it's 480. 480. But then again, of course, well, or the Radiate. I think Radiate, right now Radiate does 120 to both. I think, so we get the Radiate. We get the Radiate, we do Radiate. And here actually, man, I also, well, I'm not sure if this is not too much of a, well, maybe the mistake here is that at this final stage, because our deck did shape up to be good, we didn't really need at least one rest, and so getting some stuff on the Radiate would, like, it would be instead of 120 damage, it would be 200 damage. Feels nice, right? Right? So then we... Now let's even first do the Terraforming. Then the Stardust. And if it's not enough, we'll strike for the victory. Woohoo! But that's just, I mean, it took 25 freaking fails to get here. It took 25 freaking fails to get here. And this is a very solid amount of luck. Because, well, we struggled, but we still got the Stardust, the Royal Gamble, the Dying Star, the decisions. The flow here was, and that final hand, it was, well, okay, once per game, I guess it could be lucky, because it seriously was lucky enough. Whew, now I need to check my OBS and see if everything is right with it. Because obviously, oh, okay, everything seems right. Because obviously it would be logical if it crashed and burned. It's too good of a confrontation. So mind you, I'm not saying that this game is bad, but once again, 85%, not 96%, in my opinion. Because yes, it feels nice when you succeed, but when you fail 25 times or 30 times, it didn't feel that nice. And the gameplay is just kind of bad. And mind you, I'm at the end of the day, I am a professional gamer, so I do know a little bit more than the basic dude. How does a basic dude do this? So okay, by this point I'm very much freaking exhausted, so I hope you've had some... Well, let's get to the final score, shall we? Well, it's the average. And stuffed. Stuffed means we are just well fed. And that's that. Even then, mind you, in terms of the RNG, we've had some very nice relic flow. Pretty much. Like Pendulum and maybe Bin Bond was a mistake. But not use as boss relics like this Ambute in reality. Usually it's uses, but here just the, like, the make or break deal was that we took the gamble on the decisions. We took the gamble on the gamble, sorry, and then it did work out. For sure. But okay, I hope you did enjoy this vid at the very least and have fun playing games.